Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and welcome back to a topic that always caused me to lose subscribers: Israel-Palestine issue. So we have a new tweet from Benjamin Netanyahu, and this comes together with news saying that the Israelis are going to launch another offensive or military operation, and this time around they kind of like do it once and for all. So this tweet by the Prime Minister of Israel has said that he basically is just trying to yeah, people complain about the operations that he declared. So let's see what is the original thingy that he posted. Oh my god, why is it all in? Ugh. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, I found another tweet which is going to explain some of the things that from the pro-Israel view, what's going to happen. So Netanyahu basically announced that they're going to launch an offensive, and they say that the idea is to liberate Israelis and the people of Gaza from Hamas, and so that is the idea. And according to so some of these things I don't bother to say. So the operation is planned to have full military control of Gaza, and then remove Hamas, and then to do whatever. I don't think these are all what is stated. So the goal, here it is: destroy Hamas, rescue the hostages, establish local governance. That means the new government, and to prevent Gaza from becoming yet another another anti-Israel control place. So that's the idea. So that's basically but people are complaining, like, of course nobody trusts the Israelis, and I also not 100% trust what they're gonna do what they say. So anyway, so that's why Netanyahu posted this tweet basically to debunk, although nobody give a damn what he says. He said that Israel is not going to occupy Gaza. They're going to free Gaza from Hamas, and Gaza will be demilitarized. A peaceful civilian administration will be established, one that is not the PA, the Palestinian Authority, nor the Hamas, nor any other terrorist organization, which is a very interesting statement because they don't want to give it to the Palestinian Authority, which is kind of weird. And so they want to free their hostages and to prevent Gaza from becoming a threat again. So I immediately just replied when I see this tweet: are you going to allow Gaza to declare independence as its own country? But the thing is, what is peculiar is that the idea that Israel is going to go back into Gaza. So Gaza was already conquered by Israel a long time ago. Around 20 years ago, they give it up to the Hamas after they find it like just not profitable to stay inside and control a bunch of people they don't want to control. And of course, there was also the election, the Palestinian election, which Hamas won the majority, which is not recognized by the global community, and then also the Palestinian Authority, the other side, also don't recognize it, and then they have a so-called civil war, and Hamas took over Gaza, and by force essentially, and Israel just gave up Gaza basically. And since then, Gaza have been largely self-ruled, with Hamas establishing the entire government structure and everything. They have full control over Gaza, except that their borders is not exactly under their control, because other than I think the border with Egypt, which is they have control over that with Egypt, the rest of the from the water to the land around it is all blockaded by Israel. But not surprisingly, because they are Hamas has declared Israel to be adversary, and this means that for quite some time Hamas run Gaza is essentially a kingdom. Is a peculiar kingdom because the ruling family is not like a single family. It's more like a bunch of people in a totally new kind of structure, a bit similar to Iran, where although Iran is more like the the elders, the Islamic elders has formed the leadership and then they pick one supreme leader. Hamas is more like a conglomerate of people that form this somewhat of a kingdom. Do you call it? It's not really a republic either. It's nothing. It's a totally new kind of a structure of a country. So and they basically run over Gaza, and this is also how I perceive the geopolitics around the Gaza situation. That is that Gaza is actually a kingdom on its own. I like to call it the Hamas kingdom of Gaza. Yeah, this is what I like to call it. Because essentially it runs like one. It is its own kingdom. It is sovereign. Although it's totally surrounded by an enemy, which is Israel, and they have a lot of support coming from all around the world. They get a lot of donations into this kingdom. They manage to build up their kingdom, and they manage to militarize it. And as such, when October 7th happened, if you understand this from this angle, then October 7th is actually seen as an attack from another country into Israel. That's how Israel perceives it, which is why Israel actually declared war on Gaza and on Hamas and basically conducted bombing, attacks, operations, military operations that have not a lot of consideration into managing the people, the citizens. There is no sense of conquest of taking the control of the people, nor do they really care that much about the welfare of the people. As they do just inform them where they're going to bomb, maybe, and then just shepherd these people, north and south of Gaza, but they don't allow these people out into Israeli territory. And I think the main logic is, from the Israeli point of view, I think is because Gaza is its own country. I think that's the only way you can define it. So if for that to have to accept that as a premise first, then you probably could understand this tweet where the news is that the Israeli is going to militarily occupy Gaza to overthrow the government, which is Hamas, and to establish a totally new government which is friendly to Israel. And although that's what he says, he says Israel is not going to occupy Gaza, but I think the military occupation is going to end up in years, because how are you going to establish anything without a long-term occupation? Even if you want to rebuild the whole of Gaza Strip, that will still going to take years. And yeah, how are they going to establish this without Hamas becoming returning back into power? Because who is Hamas? I don't even necessarily think that Israel actually know exactly who are the hidden characters inside Hamas that is currently inside of Gaza, because they can't even get rid of all the Hamas fighter until now. They still have soldiers getting sniped, tanks getting ambushed from time to time. This still happens. Suddenly there's still mortar or rocket attacks, so that still happens. So there is still population of Gaza that is still belonging to the Hamas faction. So how are they going to totally remove Hamas? I don't have no idea. How are you going to create this revolution inside of Gaza without Hamas returning back into power, without having a military occupation? I don't think that is doable. So I'm not going to take his words for it. But it does just shows. It does just shows how my theory that Israeli's point of view about Gaza is that it is its own sovereign country. It's just that they don't recognize it, so they don't talk about it, because they don't want to recognize Hamas, so they don't recognize Gaza as its own country, but they treat Gaza as its own country. And then I know in your mind you'll be thinking, how about West Bank? What about West Bank? Unfortunately, West Bank, in my opinion, is a colony of Israel. As far as I'm concerned, the map doesn't look like this. It's totally broken up. Then is break into very small, all over the place. I know, yeah, you guys probably see the map. Let me find the map for you. So West Bank, in my opinion, is not is a totally different status from Gaza. As for me, Gaza has, like I said, is a Hamas kingdom of Gaza, but no, West Bank is not. Palestinian Authority is basically a puppet government. Generally, as much it looks like, yeah, as much as people want Palestine to be a thing, they have not gotten independence. And if you just look at this ridiculous map, the way how it's broken up, this is not a sovereign place. They don't have real sovereignty. And as far as I'm concerned, this West Bank is a colony of, no, West Bank, the Palestinian controlled West Bank are colonies of Israel. So people say it's occupied territory. Maybe. No, the parts that Israeli have full control, that's occupied. The parts that the place is entirely controlled by the Palestinian Authority, that's as good as colony. No, the Israelis may not necessarily go into these colonized areas. No, or people like to call it apartheid. No, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's entirely wrong per se. Yeah, but the people in West Bank live a totally different life from the people in Gaza. It's totally run differently by a different government for 20 years, I guess. So it's been a long time. So that's why I also view this as two different places. The whole concept of Palestinian, although people who are Palestine like to say that like they are same people, same thing, everything same. I also Chinese. China also Chinese. It's different. When you live long enough in even with similar language, culture, long enough, you have totally different governance, even maybe different education, because the education system is different, because Hamas runs a totally different education system as the Palestinian Authority. You unavoidably becomes quite different. Like in East German and West Germany, it's also quite different, when they come back, until today, they are still not entirely the same people, per se. So so this is what I mean by they have kind of fractured, and I think this is done deliberately by Israel, to fracture these two to make Palestine an impossibility. And I think this plan to break Palestine up remains the same plan. And now, like they're gonna be able to militarily take over Gaza Strip, that's for sure, because they have overwhelming military power. But you see, they don't want to give it back to the Palestinian Authority, which is a very interesting division. So to form a totally new government, which then comes back to the same idea that Gaza is its own place. And of course, the next one might not be a kingdom of Gaza. I think it will be like a Republic of Gaza. And which is why I asked the question, are you going to allow Gaza to declare independence? Because that is what matters the most. Because if Gaza can achieve independence, and then the financial aids, the help from all around the region, from all around the world, invest in Gaza to build Gaza up, strengthen it as a republic. Israel, can trust them enough to allow them to trade. I think Gaza can really become what they like to say, become the Singapore of the Middle East. I think that is not an impossibility. And I would say Israel would love for that to happen. And if so I although I don't trust that the Israelis will allow Gaza to go independent, but in the event that Gaza actually go independent, then I would imagine that this is yet another nail in the coffin for the Palestinian state. I'm not sure if you understand the concept of the word Palestine as a country. I don't think Israel wants it to ever happen, and I'm quite sure that they don't want it, because it is a problem for them, be it PR or geopolitics. They just don't want it to be a thing. So giving Gaza its own government, preferably a democratic one, and then give it independence, make it a republic, make it friend, investments and everything, and turn it away from the Palestinian culture, whatever that culture is. Turn it away from that, make it the riverine of the Middle East, like what Trump wants. I think that would really make Palestine very implausible, because it's going to be very awkward. Imagine Israel proposed Gaza to be a republic. To the in the United Nations recommend that Gaza becomes an independent country. You can totally imagine a lot of countries is going to reject the independence of Gaza. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be one hell of a mess in the United Nations. And then people will start to question, why the hell you don't allow the Gazans to get their independence, and then all hell is going to break loose all over again. And this time on towards the other direction. So although I will have to say, even if you're pro-Palestine, I would imagine that you should support Gaza independence if it ever happens, although it's really hard because we don't know what the Israelis want to do. Because if one day West Bank can get an independence, Gaza and West Bank can still negotiate and become one country. Maybe, and then they'll become Palestine again. Although, honestly, understanding how politics works, once one side becomes a full-fledged country, they will never want to join with another side to become another country, because why would you want to lose power? So only in rare instances like East Germany, West Germany situation that you want to reunite. In many other circumstances may not happen. So this is why I just want to preface this. West Bank, I think Netanyahu wants to resolve the West Bank issue as well. But how is he going to resolve that? I have no idea. Making Gaza its own country might help reduce the number of population of Arabs inside of the Israeli controlled territory, which in my opinion does include Gaza, even though I do say that is a separate kingdom on its own. But then annexation of West Bank into Israel as part of Israel giving the Palestinians in the West Bank Israeli passport might be doable, and still maintain some kind of a population parity between the Arabs and the Jews. But I'm not sure if they would dare to do it. I'm not sure. I mean, the bad blood is quite bad. But I'm just saying there is a possibility if they offer it. The best way, for the Israeli side, the best way to really break up Palestine is to give separate regions of Palestinian territory its own independence and make it like multiple small kingdoms or multiple small republics. That's one way to break it up. Although West Bank is already quite small, so it's not like yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying. So how this I just saying this is some of the things that I'm looking at, and how I look at these things. You can disagree, of course. I'm quite sure, because nobody can agree about anything about Palestine. So disagree is normal. Yeah. So anyway, just a quick update regarding this Netanyahu's new plan to reinvade into Gaza, which is actually partly why I find it also very weird, like that after all these military operations, Israel did not really put a real occupation into Gaza. They go in and come out, which is kind of weird. And they only established certain permanent presence in the corridors and the border regions. Like, that is very weird. And I think I have to come back. I myself have to come back to the same point that they are still treating Gaza as a separate country. I think that is the only way I can explain it. And at least from my point of view, I'm quite sure you have a different point of view that Israel is evil or whatnot. Yeah, I mean it is valid. If it's not like I don't understand. Yeah, they have done quite a number of questionable stuff. So anyway, that's it. So thank you for watching. Another tricky topic. Yeah. So anyway, this is a DPA News channel. Subscribe. press the like button. If you don't like it, try not to press dislike lah. Be nice to me. I really surprised by YouTube what you want me to do. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys and happy birthday to you if your birthday today. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next update.